From homeless black man to millionaire, the Donald Trump and Elon Musk inspired journey. Samuel's hands tore through the cracked earth behind an old, rusting gate. The abandoned tech facility smelled like dead wires and forgotten dreams. Morning sunlight spilled over the jagged skyline of New Haven, the city pulsing with a cold hunger for power and money. But here, in this forgotten corner, Samuel found a glimmer. A mysterious device, slick and humming faintly, buried beneath scraps of machinery and shattered glass. He froze. The thing looked unreal, like it belonged in some sci-fi movie. Rumors had swirled for years about a billionaire inventor, wild and dangerous, who vanished after creating something that could power a city forever. A device that could change the game. Could it really be here? In Samuel's hands? His chest tightened. Could this be the ticket out of endless cold streets, crushing loneliness, and nights that swallowed hope? Samuel's mind raced, his sneakers wet. He imagined flipping the script, lighting up his neighborhood the way New Haven's towers lit the dark sky for the rich. The energy he'd never had flowing right through his fingers. But where to start? His first step was to look for help, real power. The CEO of the biggest energy company in the city, a man with an icy stare and a smug smile, barely looked at Samuel. "Kid, you don't know what you're holding," he said, voice cold like steel. "Quit wasting my time." Door slammed. Dreams slammed harder. Samuel's heart sank. The system was a wall, unbreakable, brutal, deaf to his pleas. Yet he didn't give up. Late nights, fumbling with wires and strange buttons, he began to understand the device's secrets. It wasn't just a machine. There were symbols, dates, and a hidden message, a link to his family. His mother, who left when he was small. A missing father he'd heard only whispered rumors about. The device wasn't just energy, it was history. Blood. A legacy buried deep beneath struggle and silence. Far away, someone watched. A shadow inside the conglomerate. A cold silhouette fueled by greed and fear. They move fast, sending threats and spies, trying to seize the device before Samuel could unlock its power. If he spoke out, the streets would hear silence, permanent silence. Samuel's nights turned restless, each breath weighed with danger, each heartbeat loud enough to drown out hope. But those streets, his home, needed light. He wanted to use what he found to fight back, to lift up the beaten-down voices. Could he risk losing everything to do it? Then, as if the universe wanted to shatter him, or save him, Samuel uncovered a shattering truth about his hands trembled as he stared at the glowing device. Energy suddenly burst alive, light spilling over the grimy alley like a warning shot. He stood frozen, heart pounding, a million questions burning inside. Was he being guided to greatness or dragged into a trap? Who could he even trust in a city where the rich crush the poor with silence and steel? The glow pulsed. Samuel's breath caught in his throat. What power had he really found? And what was waiting for him on the other side if he chose to use it? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without notice. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming. And since you're here, drop a powerful like. That really helps me with the algorithm. Oh, and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. The glow pulsed, brightening the alley like a beacon. Samuel stood spellbound, feeling the energy crackle in the air. Questions spiraled in his mind. What was this device? What deeper meaning lay beneath the surface? Just then, he heard a noise, a soft scrape, then a hurried whisper behind him. Samuel! He turned, startled. A girl, maybe 17, stepped into the light. Her face was smeared with dirt, just like his. Her eyes sparkled with a familiar hunger. You found it, didn't you? She stepped closer, hands trembling as she pointed at the device. You don't know what you have. Who are you? His voice cracked, filled with both fear and curiosity. I'm Malika. I've been watching you. Watching me? Panic bubbled inside him. Why? What do you want? She took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. I know about the device. It's not just some tech. It's a legacy, like you said. It's more than that. It's why your family fell apart. He stepped back, the weight of her words pressing down on him. What do you mean? Your mother. Malika paused, her voice dropping to a hiss. She didn't just leave. She was taken. And they've been after the device ever since. Who? What are you talking about? His mind raced, trying to tie together the loose threads in his life. Your father. He wasn't just a nobody. He was a scientist. He created that device. But he was murdered to keep it a secret. After that, your mom vanished. They thought she knew too much. Heart thudding, Samuel felt the world shift beneath him. This wasn't just his story anymore. It was bigger, dangerous. You're saying my dad was killed for this? Malika nodded, urgency lacing her words. And now they want you. They think you can unlock its true potential. That you're a threat. Samuel's stomach twisted. Outside, the city felt bigger. The weight of the buildings pressing down on him. Full of shadows and unseen figures. Why would you help me? He asked, genuinely afraid. Because I lost my brother to them. Just like you lost your parents, we can't let them win. Before he could respond, the screech of tires shattered the night. A black SUV skidded to a stop at the end of the alley, its headlights slicing through the darkness. Fear wrapped around Samuel's chest. He instinctively clutched the device tighter, feeling its warmth pulse against his skin. Malika's face turned pale. They found us. We have to go. Now. But before they could turn to flee, a man emerged from the vehicle. A tall figure in a dark suit, scanning the alley like a predator. It was the CEO from earlier, the one who dismissed Samuel so coldly. Samuel, he shouted, voice echoing off the walls. You're making a mistake. Hand over the device, or the consequences will be dire. Samuel's heart pounded in his ears. The world felt as if it was closing in. Dark memories surged. Images of nights spent in alleyways filled with fear and uncertainty. Run! He yelled to Malika, But before they could move, the CEO raised a glimmering object. A gun, black and menacing. The alley felt impossibly narrow. Samuel's breath caught. What do I do? And then it hit him. The device hummed louder in his grip, like it was alive. It felt like a choice, a fork in the road he never wanted. Was this the power he'd been searching for? Or was it a trap waiting to spring? Samuel's gaze locked with Malika's, both their futures hanging by a thread, hearts racing in unison. Time froze, and Samuel stood on the brink of a decision that could shatter everything. What would happen if he chose to fight? What if he let go of everything he thought he knew? Outside, the city waited. The stakes were higher than ever. What lay ahead could change everything, or cost them their lives. The glow pulsed again, and Samuel felt the weight of the world shift. The glow pulsed again, crackling with energy, each flicker feeling like an electric question mark in the air. Samuel's heart raced. So much wrapped in this device, hope, dreams, and all the whispers of a family he never really knew. But before he could lose himself in thought, a sharp crack broke through the alley, echoing against the cold brick walls. Samuel's body tensed. That sound didn't belong here. It was too loud, too threatening. Before he could react, a figure emerged from the shadows, a tall man cloaked in a dark coat, face obscured by the brim of a hat. He moved quickly, pupils searching, like a hunter on the prowl. "Samuel," the stranger called, voice low and urgent. "You need to get out of here. Now." Samuel's pulse quickened. "Who are you?" Panic clenching at his throat like a vice. "What do you want?" The man stepped closer, shadows dancing around him, but he held up his hands, calming. "Listen, there's no time. They're coming for you. You don't understand what you have." Fear twisted inside Samuel like a knife. "What do you mean?" Before the man could answer, a black SUV roared down the street, tires screeching, a predator on the hunt. Its presence was like ice draping over Samuel's chest. The man's face went pale. "We need to move, now!" They dashed deeper into the alley, the glow from the device illuminating their path, casting long, frantic shadows. Behind them, the SUV screeched to a halt, doors flying open, and heavy footsteps thundered out. Shouts echoed, thick with malice. A low rumble of dread settled over Samuel. "Do you know what you've unearthed?" The man pressed, urgency bleeding into his tone. "I don't! I just found it!" Samuel shouted back, heart pounding like war drums. The man's eyes flickered with something like recognition. "No, it can't be. If it's what I think," he cursed quietly, frustration spilling over. Before Samuel could process further, the sound of raised voices grew near. Panic ignited in Samuel's chest. "Who are they?" he gasped. But then, a sudden crack of gunfire shattered the night. Piercing, brutal. The man jerked backward, eyes wide with shock, blood blooming across his shirt. Time twisted, the world spinning away as Samuel's breath caught in his throat. "No!" Samuel screamed, diving toward the man, but he fell backwards, hitting the ground hard. The glow from the device brightened, seemingly in response to the violence, casting a shimmering light that made the shadows retreat. In that sickening moment, Samuel saw recognition flash in the man's eyes as he whispered, "You're my son." "What?" The word escaped Samuel's lips in disbelief, slamming against the heavy air. His heart plummeted, the ground beneath him evaporating. Every thread of reality unraveled. No, that can't be. But their eyes locked, and Samuel felt a lifelong gap bridge in that split second. A connection, a truth that shattered everything he thought he knew. The man, his father? The SUV's underbelly lit up with headlights, illuminating the alley in harsh detail. Samuel's world tilted. He blinked as faces emerged. A group of suited men, hard expressions painted over with determinate. Who were they? What did he have to do with any of this? As the words swirled in his mind, shock settled deep. Then he realized the answer lay in the device, glowing brighter than ever against the confusion and terror. "Samuel," the man breathed, "you have to make a choice right now." They were closing in. Samuel's heart raced, hands trembling over the mysterious machine. Everything hinged on this moment. His past, the future, if there even was one. But as questions burned through his mind, the device pulsed, a binding light shooting toward the gathering shadows, and for an instant he thought he might understand it all. What power had he found? What truth about himself would emerge from the chaos? The glow encased him, and he stood frozen, teetering between worlds. Then came the sound of footsteps. The realization hit like a thunderclap. He was no longer just a homeless boy clutching hope. Samuel was at the center of a storm he hadn't asked for, and the answers could both free him and destroy everything he knew. He took a breath, another question sparking in his mind. Would he dare to discover the real truth, no matter the cost? The glow pulsed again, crackling with energy, each flicker feeling like an electric question mark in the air. Samuel's heart raced. So much wrapped in this device. Hope, dreams, and all the whispers of a family he never really knew. "Samuel!" His father gasped, blood oozing from his wound. The urgency gripped Samuel. He shook his head, denying the reality that hit him harder than any blow. "No, that can't be true." "It is, and they're coming. You are in grave danger." His father gasped, a struggle brewing behind his steely eyes. But before Samuel could digest this insane twist, a loud thud echoed through the alley. The ground trembled beneath him. The shadows shifted. From behind the men in suits emerged another figure. A rough-looking woman, wild hair cascading, face hardened by years of hidden struggles. She stood tall, fury radiating off her in waves. "You shouldn't have come, Thomas," she shouted, her voice sharp like glass. "Jessica?" His father's face paled, the name hitting Samuel like a cold splash of water. Who was this woman? What did she want? "Jessica?" Samuel echoed, confused and furious. "What's happening? Dot? Who are you?" She stepped forward, eyes blazing. "Are you really going to question me now? You think you know everything. Your father abandoned you, left us to rot." The air in the alley froze, thick with accusation. Samuel stumbled back, feeling as if the ground shifted below him. "What? How could you say that? He shouted, voice breaking. He knew he had to protect you from this. She gestured wildly at the device, now pulsing ominously in his grip. But he let his fears win. Look what it cost him. Stop it, Samuel shouted, gripping the device hard, feeling its heat against his skin. You don't know anything. I know more than you think, kid. Her voice surged, heavy with resentment. The same people that killed my brother are after you. It's all connected. Your father was never an innocent scientist. He was a thief, a traitor, hiding behind a facade. Samuel's breath hitched, the very foundation of his life swirling into chaos. What? No, you're lying. Lying? She laughed bitterly. You think your mother left for nothing? ... She knew too. She found out about his work. This device isn't just a machine. It's a weapon. And now they want it back. Samuel's thoughts raced in a dizzying whirlwind. Every image of family he clung to now twisted into something dark. His father, the loving figure. Just a hollow shell? You're wrong, he yelled, desperate to cling to the truth he had known. But behind him, the men in suits moved closer, eyes gleaming with the hunger of wolves. One of them held a gun, finger hovering near the trigger, breathing out menace like smoke. Enough, the man shouted, voice clipped. Hand it over, Samuel. There's no time for games. His heartbeat thudded in his ears. The threat alive and real. Samuel looked back at his father, who was trying to grab hold of the pain. The glow from the device flickered, a warning flare against the encroaching darkness. Jessica's face tightened. They'll kill us all if you don't act now. Samuel's head spun. The woman who blamed his father, the man who supposedly loved him, and a device he didn't understand. A storm of conflict surrounded him. He could feel the weight of his choices building. Just let it go, Jessica urged, voice sharper, cutting through the tension. Trust me, you don't know the full truth. But just as Samuel opened his mouth to respond, the air shattered with a new sound. A loud crash echoed from behind the alley, and the SUV exploded, a fireball bursting out in a flash of screams and flames, sending a shockwave through the night. Samuel stood frozen, breath caught between shock and disbelief. What just happened? He gasped. The blast illuminated the night, revealing a cruel canvas of chaos, faces twisted in horror, flames dancing in the darkness. Teeth clenched, Samuel's mind screamed, the image of his father's bleeding form, stark against the backdrop of destruction. Run! Shouted Malika, who had been gathering courage behind them, pulling Samuel toward the shadows. But everything felt like it was slipping away. The pieces of his life scattered in the smoke. Samuel! His father's voice was a fading echo. You must. But the flicker in his father's eyes dimmed as confusion painted over Samuel's thoughts. What did he know? What truth was left? A gut-wrenching dread settled deep inside Samuel. With everything crashing down, one question blared louder than the chaos. Who could he trust now? Samuel's heart pounded en el pecho, declofro nel divas, castin iri shadows alrededor de él. The weight of his discovery pressed down like a chain, but hope flickered like a candle against the flickering darkness. But then, in the heavy silence, a sound cut through. The sudden clang of metal against metal echoed from behind him. He spun around, breath hitching as he saw a figure emerge from the shadows. It was a woman, skin as dark as night, eyes like burning coals filled with something he couldn't name. Anger? Fear? It felt like both. She stepped closer, and Samuel could see her hands, trembling but fierce. "That's not what you think it is," she said, voice sharp enough to slice through his thoughts. "You don't know the danger you're holding." Samuel's mind raced. "What do you mean? It can change everything for us. I feel it." The pulse of the device quickened, as if in agreement. "Change or destroy?" Her words dripped with urgency. "Do you really think that thing is just technology? The power it holds is a curse. My family, my blood, paid a price for its creation." Confusion twisted inside him. "Your blood? What are you talking about?" She let out a harsh laugh, bitter and raw. "You have no idea who you are, do you?" The atmosphere thickened, tension coiling tightly around them both. "You think that device is your ticket out?" "No, it's your legacy. A legacy stained with violence, with betrayal." "Es sin que feeling," gritó Samuel, "es de pulso de la bote, se suave cinco cuerdos." "What do you know about it? About me?" Antes que ella pudiera responderle, el pasador shattered the moment. Un grupo salió en el callejero, sus rostros mascarados, ojos blindando con intenciones oscuras. Pánico clavado en el pentral. La expresión de la mujer se sentenció y sin improviso la otó. Grabando el dispositivo de la mano. «Ron, quieren de vuelta», le gritó, pero él se quedó congelado, confusión escalando sobre miedo como una niebla pesada. «Base él, siendo observador, basta acá», she screamed, slashing a hand through the air. «Trust me». But even as she pulled him toward the alley's mouth, Samuel felt the foundation of everything he believed in crumbling. "Your father, he's not just a missing man. He's the very monster behind this device. You need to find out the truth." The men surged forward, eyes locked onto Samuel, like hunters closing in on prey. Chaos, heart racing, he pulled away from her grip. "Wait, what do you mean? My father?" But the woman was gone, lost among the advancing figures. Samuel stumbled backward, the world tilting around him. Suddenly, everything felt heavy, dark. He was losing his grip. As he turned to run, he still heard her words echoing, filling the space like thunder. "The truth will kill you." He darted down the street, feet pounding, heart thumping in time with desperation. Nothing made sense anymore. The device pulsed dimly in his pocket, a reminder of everything that brought him here, and everything that might tear him apart. The shadows of the past loomed heavy, intertwining with the promise of what lay ahead. The truth? What truth? Could he trust her, or had she led him into a trap? He ran, mind racing, building fear. Who was he? What blood ran through his veins? And behind him, the men yelled, chasing him through the darkness, hungry and relentless, leaving him with one burning question. What kind of fate awaited him if he dared to uncover the secrets waiting to be revealed? Samuel's heart raced as the glowing device pulsed in his hands, each beat echoing through the silence around him. The tech hummed louder, a melody of possibilities and dangers. He took a step closer, breath caught in his throat, when suddenly a flicker in the air made him freeze. A figure stepped from the shadows, face cloaked in a hood, but unmistakably familiar. It was him, the man who haunted Samuel's dreams, his father. Samuel's legs trembled. No way. No way at all. The stories, the whispers, everything he thought he knew shattered into chaos. Samuel. The voice was both a command and a plea. You have to trust me. Trust you? Samuel spat, disbelief surging through him. You left me. You disappeared. The device felt heavier now, as if it wanted to slip from his grasp to escape this shocking reality. Because I had to. His father's voice was raw, laden with pain. I was protecting you. I didn't know what they... He hesitated, glancing over his shoulder, eyes darting to imaginary threats. No time. They're coming. We have to go. A sudden crash echoed in the alleyway, rattling the remnants of hope. The shadows lurked closer, whispers curling around them like smoke, spiraling into a deafening roar of fear. Samuel's heart pounded. What do you mean? Who's coming? Who are they? They want the device, Samuel. It's not just energy, it's a weapon. A power source that can shift the balance. His father stepped forward, urgency soaking his words. You don't understand. You're deep in a world that's out for blood. Samuel recoiled as the weight of betrayal washed over him. You're lying. This is my chance, my way out. But deep down, uncertainty gnawed at him. Had this device truly been a key to salvation or a trigger for disaster? The light from the device flickered ominously, blurring the edges of truth and deception. In that moment, the electric buzz of danger was physically palpable. His father reached for his arm. We can be free, he whispered, desperation raw in his voice. But we need to leave, and we need to do it now. A crowd had gathered, murmuring in the distance, careless eyes darting their way. Samuel caught glimpses of fear on their faces, eyes wide, breaths held. What would they think? The lost boy with a ghost, afraid to trust? Then everything changed. The air crackled, a flash of light branching out from the device, illuminating the darkness. And in an instant, an explosion rocked the alley. Glass shattered. Metal screamed. Samuel's body slammed against the wall, pain coursing through him as cries erupted around them. When the dust settled, he found himself staring into the eyes of someone he never expected. The CEO. The man who had dismissed him. The man who wore power like a crown. But there was fear now etched in his expression, panic painted vividly across his features. You! Samuel shouted, the realization slamming into him like a freight train. The world spun, secrets unraveling faster than he could comprehend. You wanted this device? What do you know? The CEO smiled, but it was twisted. A mask of control slipping. It's not what I know, boy. It's what you have yet to learn. Abruptly, Samuel's world flipped again. His father's expression hardened, dread creeping into the lines of his face. Samuel, listen to me. They're not just after the device. They want you. The alley darkened as more bodies loomed, enveloping Samuel. The glow of the device casting strange shadows. Trust was a thin thread, hanging by a whisper. Was this a battle for his future, or a fight against his past? Panic surged as the boundaries blurred. Samuel felt the weight of every choice, every secret. What power had he really unleashed? And in this moment, uncertainty blossomed dangerously wide, tightening around his throat as the night swallowed them whole. Samuel's heart pounded as he stared at the glowing device in his hands. What power had he really found? questions spinning like a whirlwind. Just then, a loud crash shattered the stillness behind him. Samuel whipped around, eyes wide, pulse racing. From the shadows, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the murky alleyway. "Samuel!" The voice was jagged and desperate. It was Leah, a girl from his neighborhood, always standing strong despite the world around her pushing down. She had a look that could pierce concrete. Fear mixing with determination. "You need to get away from that thing!" "What? Why?" Samuel shouted back, confusion almost choking him. Leah stumbled closer, her breath quick. "They're coming for you! I overheard them! The ones that run this town! They know you've got it!" His mind jolted to the sinister silhouettes he'd imagined, lurking in corners, whispering threats. He had to act. "I thought it could help. We could take back our streets!" "No, you don't understand!" Leah's eyes were wide. "You have no idea what that device can really do. It's not just energy. It's a trap. It holds more than just power. It holds secrets that could destroy everything." Chills raced down Samuel's spine. "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" Before she could respond, a vehicle roared down the alley. Lights blaring, engines revving, the air buzzed with menace. "Kike, we have to go now!" Leah grabbed his arm, pulling him back, but Samuel was frozen at the edge of revelation and fear. "Samuel!" she shouted, wresting his attention back. "It's not just the energy. It's about your family, about you. You're connected to it in a way you can't even begin to imagine." In that moment, the shadows spilled out, men in suits, pouring from the vehicle like a tide of dark ambition. They moved with purpose, eyes scanning the ground. And Samuel's heart raced with their approach. "Run!" he screamed, shoving Leah away towards a side street. But as they bolted, Samuel's mind wrestled with Leah's words. What did she mean he was connected? Was this device part of a legacy more profound than he thought? A secret family connection twisted tight like barbed wire around his chest. The men were gaining, voices sharp and commands cold. Their shouts sounded like chains rattling in the dark. "Get the device, he won't get far." Samuel stumbled. "Leah, we can't let them take it." Leah turned to him, breathless. "You don't get it. That device, it ties your blood to a history buried deep. Your mother, your father." Suddenly, Samuel saw it. The truth exploded in his mind like fireworks. His mother's face, the pieces of family he'd stitched together from whispers, all pointing to something larger, darker. "What do you mean?" But the answer never came. A figure stepped from the group of men, eyes cold, smirk twisted like a knife. "Ah, the prodigal son returns. You really didn't know, did you, Samuel?" The shock hit him like a freight train, tearing apart everything he thought he understood. The glow from the device flickered, shadows stretching, the atmosphere thick with betrayal and tangled ties. "Your story has just begun, kid," the man said, voice smooth and lethal. In that moment, with danger closing in and the truth piercing his heart, Samuel's world twisted upside down, leaving him gasping in the dark. Who was he really? How deep did the secrets run? And before he could process it all, Leah was dragged into the shadows, screaming for him, her face contorted in terror. Samuel felt the ground fall away beneath him. The weight of his what power had he really found? Questions spun like a whirlwind. Just then, a loud crash shattered the stillness behind him. Samuel whipped around, eyes wide, pulse racing. From the shadows, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the murky alleyway. Samuel! The voice was jagged and desperate. It was Leah, a girl from his neighborhood, always standing strong, despite the world around her pushing down. She had a look that could pierce concrete, fear mixing with determination. "You need to get away from that thing!" "What? Why?" Samuel shouted back, confusion almost choking him. Leah stumbled closer, her breath quick. "They're coming for you. I overheard them, the ones that run this town. They know you've got it." His mind jolted to the sinister silhouettes he'd imagined lurking in corners, whispering threats. He had to act. "I thought it could help. We could take back our streets. No, you don't understand." Leah's eyes were wide. "You have no idea what that device can really do. It's not just energy, it's a trap. It holds more than just power. It holds secrets that could destroy everything." Chills raced down Samuel's spine. "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" Before she could respond, a vehicle roared down the alley. Lights blaring, engines revving, the air buzzed with menace. "We have to go! Now!" Leah grabbed his arm, pulling him back, but Samuel was frozen. Frozen at the edge of revelation and fear. "Samuel!" she shouted, wresting his attention back. "It's not just the energy. It's about your family. About you. You're connected to it in a way you can't begin to imagine." In that moment, the shadows spilled out. Men in suits pouring from the vehicle like a tide of dark ambition. They moved with purpose, eyes scanning the ground, and Samuel's heart raced with their approach. "Run! Spilk!" he screamed, shoving Leah away towards a side street. But as they bolted, Samuel's mind wrestled with Leah's words. What did she mean he was connected? Was this device part of a legacy? More profound than he thought. A secret family connection twisted tight like barbed wire around his chest. The men were gaining, voices sharp and commands cold. Their shouts sounded like chains rattling in the dark. "Get the device! He won't get far!" Samuel stumbled. "Leah, we can't let them take it!" Leah turned to him, breathless. "You don't get it! That device, it ties your blood to a history buried deep. Your mother, your father." Suddenly, Samuel saw it. The truth exploded in his mind like fireworks. His mother's face, the pieces of family he'd stitched together from whispers, all pointing to something larger, darker. "What do you mean?" But the answer never came. A figure stepped from the group of men, eyes cold, smirk twisted like a knife. "Ah, the prodigal son returns. You really didn't know, did you, Samuel?" The shock hit him like a freight train, tearing apart everything he thought he understood. The glow from the device flickered, shadows stretching, the atmosphere thick with betrayal and tangled ties. "Your story has just begun, kid," the man said, voice smooth and lethal in that moment, with danger closing in and the truth piercing his heart. Samuel's world twisted upside down, leaving him gasping in the dark. Who was he really? How deep did the secrets run? And before he could process it all, Leah was dragged into the shadows, screaming for him, her face contorted in terror. Samuel felt the ground fall away beneath him, the weight of his life acting like quicksand. What lay ahead was a storm, one that would tear everything apart and leave him standing alone, holding that device that might just hold the answers. But everything shifted with a sudden blast of thunder. The sky opened up as rain poured down, drenching the alley and setting the shadows dancing. In the chaos, a figure stepped forward, moving with purpose through the dark. It was someone Samuel recognized, a woman, unyielding and fierce. "Stop!" she shouted, voice clear over the cacophony. Samuel squinted, trying to place her. And then it hit him. It was his mother, the woman he dreamed about all those years. But she looked different, hardened, desperate, a warrior in the rain. "Mom," he whispered, disbelief swirling inside him. But before he could ask more, she launched herself at the men, voice echoing like a fiery sword. "You will not touch my son!" Shocked gasps filled the night air, eyes widening as she fought. The device in Samuel's hand pulsed suddenly, a hum that cut through the chaos. Power surged through him, tinged with fear. Was this really his mother? "Get back!" she yelled again, eyes fierce like a storm brewing. "I will protect him." Samuel's world tilted as Leah's screams faded into background noise. His mother was here? The truth he chased came crashing down. "Why did you leave?" he cried out, stunned. But before she could answer, a bright flash erupted from the device, blinding everyone. In the pulse of light, Samuel felt a strong connection surge through him. The pain, the anger, the longing, it all converged in that moment. And then he saw it, a vision unfolding, a scene of destruction, of a past buried under lies. The device held memories, their blood tied into something ancient and dark. With the light fading, Samuel gasped, realizing that everything he thought he knew was a mere illusion. His mother had not left him. She had hidden a truth so dangerous that it could shatter their lives forever. "What? What did you do?" he breathed, voice trembling. Just then, a twist of fate occurred. More men rushed in from the shadows, faces consumed by rage, and among them, one stood taller, eyes glinting with malice. It was the CEO, now brandishing a sinister grin, eyes locked onto Samuel. "Welcome to the truth, kid," he sneered. "Your family has secrets the world can't handle. And now it's time for you to choose." The weight of those words settled heavily, wrapping around Samuel like vines. In that moment, all horizons faded, leaving only threatening shadows and the weight of whatever dark legacy they shared. Was he ready to face it? Was Leah's scream a warning, or the push he needed? Samuel looked between his mother and the men closing in, heart racing, reality spinning like a whirlwind. What had he stumbled into? And what truth was left buried beneath the chaos of this storm? Samuel's breath caught in his throat as the figure of his father loomed before him, desperation etched on his blood-streaked face. Outside, a storm raged, rain pounding against the pavement like the echo of his heart. Could this truly be happening? And now it's time for you to choose. Before Samuel could react, before he could question what choice he even had, something exploded in the distance. The sound was deafening, more thunder than crash, shaking the ground beneath them. In a flash, everything changed. The darkness lit up with vibrant colors as flames leapt high into the air. A nearby building erupted, shattering windows and sending glass spiraling like deadly rain. Samuel fell to his knees, shielding his eyes from the brilliance, while horror splayed across the faces around him. "Run!" his mother shouted, urgently pulling him to his feet. The urgency in her voice jolted him to action. They turned, sprinting into the chaos. But Samuel's heart was still racing, not just from fear, but from what he overheard. The truth. "No, Samuel, listen!" she cried, urgency splintering her words. "You have to understand. They want you because of him." She pointed towards the CEO. "He knows everything." The CEO's grin slipped, replaced with a look of panic. "No, you can't let him get—" But before he could finish, another explosion rocked the ground. A flaming piece of debris hurtled towards them. Samuel ducked just in time, his heart pounding in rhythm to the chaos. But just behind them, in the thick of the eruption, a shadow emerged from the smoke. A woman, cloaked in darkness, stood tall. She seemed unaffected by the destruction around her, eyes locked on Samuel with an intensity that gripped his heart. "Mom?" Samuel's voice wavered, disbelief flooding his mind. "I'm here," she said, voice low and steady, yet submerged in urgency. "I've come to help you, but you need to know what you're dealing with." As the chaos unfolded, the flames flickered around them, casting eerie shadows. "What do you mean? What do you know?" Samuel pressed, his fears swirling. She stepped closer, urgency lighting her features. "The device isn't just a power source, Samuel. It's part of a key to everything we've lost. But it's also a target." "What target?" Samuel asked, confusion and fear mingling. But before she could explain, the men in suits regrouped, eyes ablaze with wicked intent. Marching straight toward them. "Get the device, Samuel! We don't have time!" the CEO bellowed from behind. And then it happened, a sickening twist of fate. The woman lunged into action, stepping between Samuel and the oncoming threat, just as another explosion erupted, engulfing her in flames. "Mom!" Samuel screamed, lunging forward. But his movement was halted by an intense grip from Leah, who had re-emerged from the shadows, eyes wide. "We have to go, now!" she shouted. The world around him spun, confusion, horror, panic, and then he felt it. A jolt of raw energy that surged through him like electricity, all from the device in his hand. It pulsed brightly, illuminating the chaos, as if responding to the danger that surged. "Samuel, use it! You can save her!" Leah shouted, voice trembling with urgency. But as Samuel turned, prepared to unleash whatever power was within the device, an agonizing scream ripped through the night. It was his mother. The sound pierced through the smoke, a raw, heart-wrenching cry that froze him solid. In that moment, the world fractured. His mind swirled as Leah's grip tightened, urging him forward. But he couldn't move. All his memories shattered. Was this truly his mother? Or a ghost of who he hoped she'd be? Everything came crashing down. The CEO, with rage and fear mingling, lunged for the device. "You don't understand! Your life depends on that device! Don't let it slip away!" Samuel stood frozen, torn between chaos and choice. What had he uncovered? The truth? Or was it all a lie meant to drown him? as the flames roared behind him, illuminating his mother's shadow in the fire. Samuel was left with one burning question. Who was the real enemy, and could he save anyone at all? Samuel felt the heat of panic as the chaos roared around him. His mother stood between him and the approaching danger, but it was too late. The flames twisted and danced, casting jagged shadows across their faces. "You have to run, Samuel!" she shouted, urgency tearing at her voice. He turned, glancing at the CEO, fury bubbling under the surface. "You won't take me!" Samuel yelled, gripping the device tighter. The glow pulsed against his chest, feeling like a heartbeat shared between them. But before he could act, terror gripped his body. A shot rang out, and instinctively he lunged. "No!" he screamed, watching helplessly as the CEO staggered, a bullet in his shoulder. His mother's eyes widened, a mix of fear and regret. "Samuel!" she cried, but he was too lost in the chaos. Leah, gripping his arm, pulled him back, her voice firm, almost frantic. "We have to go now!" But Samuel was torn. Pain surged through him. Empty questions echoed in his mind. "What's happening?" Suddenly, everything clicked. The device, the danger, it was all connected. "The truth is in this," he whispered, realization sparking like electricity. The alley erupted with sounds, a scream, followed by silence. He turned, his focus sharpened. "I'm not afraid of the truth anymore." The glow grew brighter, radiating through the fear, changing him. But just as he stepped forward, another loud explosion sent him hurtling back. The ground shook. Samuel's breath hitched as the shadows engulfed him, panic twisting. But as he fought through the haze, he caught sight of his mother. She had fought too hard. She wouldn't let him down. "I trust you," he shouted, knowing deep in his heart that something had to change. The device pulsed in his hands, power humming through him. "I won't let you do this!" he yelled, turning to face their pursuers. Suddenly, a surge of energy erupted from the device. The street lit up like a fiery beacon, blinding the men in suits. They stumbled back, fear etched across their faces. "Go!" his mother yelled, urgency in her voice. "Now, Samuel!" The energy flowed in waves, pushing him forward as lights flashed, chaos swirling. Samuel felt a sense of clarity. This was his moment. The weight of the truth was a heavy crown, but it belonged to him. "I will find you," he promised, the words slipping from his lips. And with that, he turned and ran, his heart pumping as Leah dashed beside him. They raced through the chaos, weaving past debris, adrenaline fueling every step. Behind them, the cries fell silent. The device hummed furiously, and Samuel knew it was protecting him, guiding him towards something new. They burst out of the alley, into the storm, rain cascading down, mixing with smoke and fear. But there, beyond the wreckage, a path lit up, glowing with potential. "This way," Leah shouted, pulling him along. Bursting into the open street, they emerged into the world, heavy with rain and confusion. Samuel looked back, but the chaos faded behind him. Breathless, they paused, catching their breath under the drizzling sky. "Samuel, what did you do?" Leah gasped, eyes wide with awe. "I don't know," he admitted, shaking amidst of fear and exhilaration coursing through him. But there was something else, a flicker of hope. He clutched the device, feeling its warmth settle against his body. "Look," Leah said, pointing. A figure emerged from the haze, the silhouette of his mother. "She's coming! We have to wait!" Samuel turned, hope igniting. But as they stared, lightning cracked across the sky, illuminating the ground before them. The silhouette faded in the shadows, leaving only questions. "Mom?" The words escaped him in despair, chasing after her form. But nothing. The storm raged on, threatening to swallow everything whole. "Samuel!" Leah shouted, pulling him back. "We have to keep moving. This isn't over." He took a breath, squeezing the device tightly. "I won't stop. Not now." With renewed determination, they stepped into the unknown, leaving chaos behind, yet carrying its weight within. Samuel looked toward the horizon, questioning what was next. He could feel it, an adventure waiting to unfold, a truth still lurking in the shadows. Things were changing beneath the rain, and with every step forward, he felt a flicker of hope. The night was falling, but they were rising, driven by something powerful, something that thrummed like a heartbeat. You have to subscribe now! Don't miss what happens next! This is the moment to show your support! Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. Flood the comments with your thoughts and theories. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this ending. Don't wait even a second longer. True fans know, let's keep this story alive.